Welcome back, viewers. David here again, and thanks to you all who watched my last episode on carbs. Well, we're about to do some cooking. So in this series on eating on the spectrum, it's about breakfast. So the reason I believe it is the most important meal of the day is the one, it sort of sets the scene for your day for success, feeds the brain, assists with cognitive and memory. So being autistic, I found I just did not have this under control. And when I was diagnosed and understood the condition, a bit of a light bulb went off. I researched everything I could about what changes in my life I could do that didn't require sort of medication and would sort of keep my mental state good for the day. Well, people, the one thing that I found worked the best was if I ate a good breakfast, it made a huge impact to my day. So it sort of sets the foundations. As most would appreciate the fact that neurodiversity is a broad group and we all have challenges. Mental institutions like to prescribe medication to help with support, but that's not always the answer. So a simple fact is food choices make a huge difference, and changing the mindset can be difficult to begin with. So now that said, we are bombarded with media and advertising, which company agendas to prompt their products. They really push it at us. I have no problem with that, as long as the audience is aware of the choices they make when purchasing. So viewers, it's you have to make a bit of a choice yourself when you're looking at this type of food. So for breakfast today, I'm focusing on dairy-free, good oils and protein. Autism and dairy are an interesting relationship, and the reason I do not have dairy is the fact that dairy contains the casein protein, which I discussed in my first episode. So for me, this can affect the type of day I'm about to have. I will have the particular way that it sort of processes my cognitive thoughts, and in some cases, I get brain fog. In addition to the lactose and bloating that comes along with it, I just don't feel good. I will also stay clear of certain carbs and gluten. These will potentially lead to glycemic sugar rush, which in effect will give me the shakes and lose my train of thought. And that would normally happen around about mid-morning. So with the good oils, particularly avocado, it removes this, allowing me to stay full, content, and my brain receptors are engaged. When we talk about fats, saturated, these fats are animal, which are found in meats, dairy products, which have links to heart disease and obesity. Then we have unsaturated, like found in oily fish, nuts, vegetable oil, and avocado, which help lower cholesterol and often known as beneficial fats. Monofats found in olive oil, avocado, almonds help sustain fullness, giving that satisfaction of feeling full in a good way. We will talk about these more as we progress through my series. So, with my breakfast, I will have vitamins to improve areas where I lack, and in autism, B6 has been linked to decreasing behavioural problems and important for cognitive development and assists in the production of serotonin. So for parents of autistic children, I am sure you have seen many behaviours when your child has eaten sugar, carbs, etc. So when I talk about this, is not advice, but I'm only sharing what I've found, what works, and if I can help others, well, that's a bonus. So viewers, it's time to cook. Let's see. So I'm doing my version of a breakfast muffin. These can be made in advance and stored well in the fridge and reheated in the microwave or oven. So first thing we need to do is we need to set the oven. So roughly 180 degrees C, fan force normal, I like to use fan force, and which is about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So what do we need? Well, we need a cupcake oven dish, something similar to this, which works quite well. We need some olive oil, 10 eggs, 5 mushrooms. Today I'm using Swiss browns, but any type, it's really up to you. Spinach and kale, a half a cup of oat milk. It can be substituted soy, almond, 1/3 of a cup of gluten-free self-raising flour, an avocado. Okay, so what we need to do first is pre-cook the mushrooms, spinach and kale. So we need to prepare the mushrooms, cook it off, get the water out so it doesn't make the muffins go all watery when they're cooking. Okay, so for me, this is where the glasses come on. Otherwise, I just can't see. So what I'm going to start doing is we're just going to prepare the mushrooms. I cut them into quarters. At least by doing that, when I put them in the muffin tray, I can sort of even them out. Then when I pour the mix over the top, I can give it a bit of a stir inside and it makes it cook nicely within. That all doesn't sort of fit to one side. Okay, now it's over to cook. Okay, so here we are over at the stove. I'm just going to get the heat going on the small frying pan, get it quite warm, then I'm going to put my mushrooms in and cook them off. Bring it up to a little bit of heat. Generous olive oil, can't go wrong. Olive oil's good oils, remember. Got mushrooms which were pre-cut earlier. Give it a mix around. Taste a little bit. Obviously you don't want to chuck them in whilst it's cold, just won't do anything. All right. Give it a bit of a shake around. Then you'll start to hear it sizzle off. And all we're doing at this stage, we're just searing them or just sort of, just pre-cooking them. So what's happening here, they're starting to brown off a little bit, also starting to sweat. So it means the sort of the water starting to come out of the actual mushroom. Sizzle. So these are going really good now, like you sort of see the moisture all starting to come out, change a little bit of colour. We'll just give them a little bit longer and then I'll pull them off and then let them rest and the water should all come out of it. Okay, that's enough. Take it off the heat. All right, they can just sit to the side until we're ready for them when we put it in our mixture. Now I want to get this other pan going to cook off the kale and spinach mix. So again, we want to get it up nice and warm because that won't take too long to cook. That'll just sweat down and we want to get it down so then we can put it in our cake dish. So when they make our little muffins, it really sort of mixes in there quite nicely. Okay, here we go. A little bit of oil again, generous. Right, so we want to put a decent amount because it does go down to sort of like when it cooks down to almost not much in there at all, to be honest, time it all comes down, but we want to get that really sweated. But as you can see now, it's starting to come down, the leaves are starting to wilt, which is sort of what we want it to happen. So as it starts to wilt, we want to just cook out that little bit of extra moisture that's in there because we don't want that spoiling our muffin mix. Okay, as you can see, that's really sort of reduced right down. Give it a little bit longer and then we'll take it out. Okay, viewers, I think that's wilted down enough. Now I'm going to take it out, put it in the bowl. And set some aside. Okay, viewers, now it's actually time to start assembling our breakfast muffins. Now, what I wanted to show you is before, when we looked at it, like all the actual moisture that was coming out of the mushroom. So I want to drain that off because we don't want it. Okay, so we'll grab our eggs, which I've actually pre-done, so we want to start putting the stuff in the mixture, mix it all together. So I'm going to add the flour, the oat milk, Now we're just going to mix that up together. Okay, we're going to start the assembly now into our muffin tin. I'm using a silicone one. I do like the silicone ones. It's easier to pop out the actual muffins when they're cooked. I do find that better. So I want to put a little bit of olive oil in each one. And then I've got a little cloth. I'll just like to sort of move it around just to oil it all up. Okay, and now we'll start putting some mushrooms in. Evenly distribute them. Okay, so we've got about 3 in each, which I'm happy with. Now, our wilted kale and spinach, we want to sort of put a little bit of that in each one. Remember too, you don't want to fill them right up chocolates, otherwise it just puts too much of the mixture in there. You still want the egg mix to create that sort of nice sort of creaminess inside, but also it's a bit like a frittata, I guess you'd say. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Right, so now we want to put our egg mixture over the top. So I'm just using a ladle for now, what I've mixed up, so this is fun, isn't it? Nothing like creating something. We don't want to overfill them, otherwise it's just going to go everywhere. Because remember, the self-raising flour will give it a bit of height when it's cooking. So just make it sort of even. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Right, now last bit is to just give a little bit of a move around inside so everything is sort of nicely distributed within the muffin. Right, there we have it. Time to cook. Oven. Going to go in the oven, take about 25 to 30 minutes, and then we want to check it close, give it a bit of a prod to see if it's all cooked, and once it is, then we'll pull them out. Okay, now over to my preset oven. Now, when you're cooking it, just make sure heat distribution in the oven is important. So you want to put them roughly in the middle of the oven so the nice heat generates all the way around cooking. If you put it too low, burns the bottoms, too high, doesn't cook evenly. Well, viewers, whilst we're waiting on our breakfast muffins, I just want to prepare the avocado. So the avocado is what I have it with my muffin because the avocado's got those good fats which we discussed. So quite simple, just basically cut around, open it up, leave that one there, use that for later when I have lunch or something. Then I just want to scoop out avocado. I don't really like the end part because obviously it's got the horrible bit where there's seed from the seed. So then I want to cut it, slice it up. Right, so save that for when our muffins are done. Okay, viewers, well that's about time. It's been about 25, 30 minutes. Just checked them, they look good, so I'm just about to pull them out of the oven. Just bring them over. Oh, wow, look at those. They look good. So, well, there you have it, viewers. There's my actual breakfast muffin, bit of avocado, which I have with it. Now, these things can be made in advance, like I said. They can put in the fridge. You can heat them up later. Children can put them in lunch boxes. They're very sort of a simple meal to go, and it's got all the good stuff that you need to give you that sort of fulfillment and keeps you going. You don't get the shakes. It's really good. So like I said, nice. Well, let's just try a little bit of this, see what it's like. Just how I remembered it. So viewers, after changing my diet and eating like this, it has improved my train of thought, hyperactivity, irritability during the day. I feel more content. I set myself up for success. So, well viewers, enough from me. We'll go over more in our next episode of The Morning Snack, which is next. So, guess what? I like coffee if I haven't told you. It's coffee time whilst I have my breakfast. That's good coffee. Well, viewers, thanks for joining me on this episode and look forward to other ones with you. Please follow, like, subscribe, everything social media does, and appreciate it. And look forward to seeing you again.